wake up, wake up. It's the Flow Show, no filter. We got to get into this Diddy mess as always. But today we're going to call it the Fro. Today is the Fro Show, no filter. But before we get into this Diddy crap, let me cover my ass, no Diddy. The thoughts, views, and opinions shared on the Flow Show, no filter, are for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a professional. I am just good morning, y'all. Good to see everybody. The breakfast crew is in the building. C Tuck, Angie, Lily, Melissa, Tracy, Alicia, C Tuck, my boy, what's up? Y'all, this is a mess. I hopped in the shower today. I got out the shower. I looked in the mirror. I said, the fro is froing today. I'm going to bring the fro out for today's show. Hope y'all don't mind. The fro is going to join us today. And we got a lot to get into. Taco Tuesdays. Ooh, last Taco Tuesdays, I had some type of peach something taco. Oh my God, I ate every last one of them things. And I'm probably gonna get them again this week because once I find something I like, I wear it out. Once I find a new food that I like, I wear it out until I get tired of it. So I'll probably have those peach tacos again today. Hope you get you a taco. And like I said, once again, good morning to the breakfast crew. Melissa say, yes, the fro is flowing, baby. Yeah, hey, I gotta give it a couple pats for that. Boom. You should see it in person. No, I'm just playing. But without further ado, let's get into what's going on, man. This Diddy case is one of the craziest cases I ever covered. I mean, no matter how much the prosecution proves their case, we always had an element of when you got big money, anything can happen. And I think that's what really has everybody on edge about this case. Because no matter how much RICO the prosecution has proven, we know two things. We know Diddy got a whole lot of money, and we also know these jurors have been coming and going as they please. I don't give a damn what nobody say. Me, myself, I would have preferred a sequestered jury, much like we had in the OJ trial, much like we've had in a lot of high-profile trials. I've told y'all from the very beginning, I don't care what nobody say. I don't feel good about this juror not being sequestered in New York with a defendant who has been proven to intimidate motherfuckers. But we shall see. Angela said we don't mind. I don't mind. If you burn down the pole, was that Usher said, I don't mind. Fro real. Julie says fro real. Yeah, the fro is real. The fro, let the fro be with you. Good morning, punk rock girl. Hope everybody have a good breakfast today. But yeah, that's my only concerns is that this jury has been coming and going, and New York is already crazy. Who knows, but we'll see. And let's get into it. So hope everybody is enjoying their Tuesday morning. Betsy, we got, yeah, Yanni says she still can't believe the jury wasn't sequestered. Yeah, I really don't understand the thought process behind that. Yeah, the jury, the defense made a shocking claim. We're gonna get into that. Melissa says New York is corrupt, very, 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 very corrupt. But let's get in today. We're gonna start a little early too. No more, no more. Ain't no much. I got my Diet Coke. Take a swig. Now I can do my gig. Let's go. I've been working on the shirts, y'all. So tomorrow, God willing, I'll be launching the shirts, and then Wednesday night or Thursday morning, I'll be in New York for the closing arguments. And I got a strong feeling we might have a verdict Friday. So if everything goes well, I'll be out there for the verdict too. So but the merch is going. I've been working on the shirt y'all wanted. I got Kick Rocks with Flip Flop shirt. I got I Am Just Good. Uh I got a few other ones that y'all requested. Of course, I got And I Don't Like It. I got other I use mostly all y'all suggestions. So looking forward to y'all enjoying the merch store, and like hopefully I can launch it tomorrow while we're on the show. So that's my hope. But I want to start off with a quote as we get into this Diddy mess. I want to start off with a quote. And this has come from a page called the Diddy Docket on X, formerly known as Twitter. And it says, imagine 30 plus years of leading the culture, covering magazines, touring the world, hosting the most poppin' industry parties, making hits, and making millions, and not making one single real friend along the way. Shout out to Diddy Docket on. I think that's a powerful quote. Doing all of that and not making one real friend along the way. Nobody to step up. And why am I starting today with that quote? Well, yesterday, I broke the news that the defense announced they don't have a single witness. They don't have and mother MFer to speak on Diddy's behalf. Not one. His mom ain't speaking. Son ain't speaking. Ashton Kutcher ain't speaking. Ellen called Diddy her snuggle McFuggle or whatever hell. She done skipped town. I'm hearing she out the country, everybody's saying. Who knows? But I do know where she's not. And that's not defending her snuggle or whatever she called Diddy. Uh, this is why. Oh, and then out of all of that, Naomi Campbell, she had multiple tweets talking about happy birthday to my brother. I'll never leave your side or always by my side, forever by your side. But see, to me, forever, I guess forever to me don't mean the same as forever to Naomi Campbell, because forever means forever, a long time. I guess Naomi meant forever until you really need me, then it's screw you. But this is why I've always been a man of the people. This is why I've never been close, nor did I ever give a fuck about being cool with celebrities. I got a couple celebrity friends, but they are celebrities who are real people to me. But for the most part, I've always been more comfortable with the people, like y'all, like my community. Because see, the people, we genuine. When you down, we gonna pick you up. We gonna ride with you. Celebrity world, when somebody down, they get the fuck away. And so it's all fake. Now, do I blame them for not being by Diddy's side? I don't blame them. Diddy treated people like shit. And I was there, I know. I'm not talking from no articles. I'm talking from being in the circle, running around when I was rapping and witnessing. Diddy treated people like pure Horse shit. And this is why we're here. And out of all those celebrities that Diddy did parties for and made hits for and was on their shows and all of that, the only straggler he could get was crazy Kanye. And even Kanye showed up for 5 minutes and got the hell out of there. Now, there's a rumor that he back out there, but they not gonna put Kanye on no damn witness stand. We know that. So when they made that announcement, I don't know if I've ever seen that. And y'all tell me in the chat. I don't know if we've ever seen, and I don't give it like that. Some people are trying to say it's not the defense's burden to prove innocence. But why does every defense team present a case for a couple weeks then? So I don't want to hear that shit. Like, don't piss on me and tell me it's raining. There are no witnesses because nobody wants to speak on it and everybody's guilty. They act like we forgot that they said they were going to put Vashta from Human Resources, from Bad Boy, from Diddy's company. They said they were going to put Vashta on the stand. Why she ain't on the stand? Because they know that cross-examine would have chewed her up and spit her out. This is what happens when you're caught red-handed. Don't tell me no shit about you ain't got no burden of proof. And every case I've ever seen, the defense has witnesses. I ain't never seen one where the defense didn't have one single MFer to come up there and speak on your behalf. At least speak to your character. What they call that, character witnesses? You ain't got nobody to go up there and say, man, my bro Diddy is a good guy. He would never do these things. You ain't even got nobody to say that. Thank you for the super chat, Linda. I'm gonna give me an extra taco on Linda. Thank you, Linda. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna give me an extra taco today. And I'm gonna think about you. I'm gonna call that extra taco Linda. I'm gonna put that taco in the air. I'm gonna say, this is for the great Linda. She was a beautiful person. And I'm gonna smash that taco like you ain't never seen before. Tacos do not last long in my hand. I got a big mouth, couple bites, boom. Gone. Next taco. I need about 4 or 5 of them. So if y'all want to give me some more super stickers, y'all know I'm greedy. I'm about 6'3", 240 pounds, 235 pounds. Big dude. I eat a lot. So I would appreciate it. So I'm gonna pour a little out after I demolish that taco. I'm gonna pour a little out for Linda's super sticker. In all seriousness, I thank you. But you ain't got nobody to go up on the stand and say, man, the Diddy, the Sean Combs I know would never do these things he's accused of. What about all them people with all the free puff shirts? The family members, the godfathers, and all these people speaking up. Everybody has something to say, even the creeps in the comments. See, it's easy to talk in the comments. It's easy to put on a free puff shirt and walk around in New York for attention. But when you got to put your hand, but what we finding out, when it's time to put that hand on the Bible and say you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God, we got billions and billions and billions of people on this planet. Billions on this planet. And we can't find one person to put their hand on the Bible and go up there and say, I want to tell the truth about Sean Combs. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Not One person. That's telling. I don't give a damn how they try to spin it. We're going to go over a couple articles where we're going to give both sides. You know, that's what we do on the Flow Show. We're going to give both sides because, hey, I don't know everything. Maybe it is a good sign for the defense. Maybe they do feel like ain't nothing been chosen. Okay, Anquinette. Anquinette. Hold up, Anquinette. Anquinette. I'm about to pass out. I'm about to have a good taco day. Anquinette Brown, thank you for the $20 super sticker. Shit, after the day, I'm gonna be like 6'3", 245 pounds. Y'all about to put an extra 5 pounds on me today. I appreciate it. Big dude, big daddy. But that's crazy. And if I'm a juror, I can't help but look at that as an innocent man. You gotta have somebody that's gonna speak for you if you're an innocent man. I don't even see how a juror could not look at that as a negative. I don't see it, y'all. Now we're gonna get into some articles. And first, let me get into this. Since we're on the subject of celebrities, uh, all the celebrities told Diddy he can kick rocks from flip-flops with no socks. And that'll be on a t-shirt. Y'all can buy it tomorrow. But I ain't never seen so many people tell somebody to kick rocks so much. That's why Diddy was so thirsty to drag Kanye West into it. He was trying to find somebody who was stupid enough to join this freak off party. And since we're on the subject of celebrities who are acting brand new, all of a sudden, don't nobody know Diddy. Just not too long ago, Diddy was the darling. He was on everybody's Tonight Show. He was on everybody's commercial. Everybody wanted to take a picture with him. He was even involved in the political. He was a Democrat. Vote or die. And now he is fighting for his life, looking at a life sentence. And he can't even get cousin Junebug to get on the stand. Now, does he have a cousin named Junebug? Hell no. That's just a metaphor. This is the Flow Show, no filter. You know I'm liable to say anything. But for real. So let's talk about two people who just distanced themselves from Diddy. Before I even get into the court jargon and the mumbo jumbo, Oprah and TD Jakes. I don't know if y'all saw the clip, but they had some function, but they had to let it be known. All of a sudden, they don't know Diddy. Oprah says she ain't never been to a Diddy party. TD Jakes said, I'll get into the article. I ain't gonna spoil it. So this article comes from the Independent. Y'all know I love the Independent. Now, I like this publication because they get into the fucking nitty gritty. They don't give any F's. This from the Independent says Oprah Winfrey and Bishop TD Jakes address rumors they attended Diddy parties. It says mega church pastor TD Jakes did admit to briefly visiting the rap mogul's house to wish him happy birthday. So let's get into this article. Oprah Winfrey and the high-profile pastor Bishop T.D. Jakes have both publicly denied attending parties hosted by embattled rap mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Now, before I continue in this article, y'all, if all of a sudden nobody was at the Diddy parties, when I saw the Diddy parties, they looked packed to me. They looked star-studded. It looked like everybody was there. The who's who, the who ain't, the has-beens even snuck in. Now, all of a sudden, my eyes was lying to me. Wasn't nobody at the damn parties. How that work? Now all of a sudden, wasn't damn motherfucker at the Diddy party. I could have swore them Diddy parties was packed. Were those bots? Were those mannequins? What were all these bodies that I saw at the Diddy party? Because all of a sudden, nobody was at the Diddy party. It's comical to me. But let's continue. Combs, 55, is currently on trial for New York, facing charges of ex-trafficking, transportation to engage in prostitute and racketeering. And many of the allegations center around the drug-fueled sex parties known as freak-offs. The parties that, okay, so now it says on social media, unsubstantiated claims and AI generated images have linked both Winfrey and Jakes to these events. According to the reports in EEW magazine, the publication of Christian organization Empowering Everyday Women, the pair addressed the screwless rumors while on stage at the Good Soul Forum in Dallas, Texas. They had to go all the way to Dallas, Texas to tell Diddy to kick rocks. Don't nobody know Diddy no more. Nobody ever knew him. Jay-Z don't know him. Him and Jay-Z was having photo ops, posing, doing all kind of poses, doing this and shoulder to shoulder and toasting glasses and then he don't know him. I don't be now. It's one thing to take a picture. It's one thing to take a picture. You can say, hey, let me fix this light. Let me see if I can get me a little bit more light. Yeah, there we go. Give me a little light. Give me a little light in this. There we go. I ain't that dark now. Have me looking like Shaq. I got a little golden tone to my joint. But anyway, I understand they can say, hey, anybody can take pictures. But, and just because you take pictures with somebody don't mean you know them. But when you taking pictures like this and like this and like this and doing all these crazy ass poses, you know that person. Jay-Z said he ain't no Diddy. Well, why was you taking all these jail pose pictures with him? That's why I don't fool with celebrities. Y'all have made me famous, and I'm still kicking it with y'all. I'm still kicking it with the regular people. I don't trust no celebrity. I don't want it. Y'all, they fake. And I know they fake. Loving your theatrics. Hey, this is what we do. This is what we do early morning. People be like, how you got so much energy in the morning? I'm a morning person. This is when I shine. When I go out of town and I kick it, I fuck a day party up. I'm the day party king. At night, can't do it. I turn into a pumpkin. 10, 11 o'clock, I turn to a pumpkin. I'm ready to go night-night. But in the morning or during the day, I'm a firecracker. Anyway, don't nobody know him. So Oprah continues after she said, Oprah says, I have never been near a puff party. Now I don't want to call Oprah a liar. I don't want to call Oprah a liar. But it's hard for me to believe she was never. Now, I'm not going to say I thought Oprah was at no freak off party. I ain't going to say that. I don't think, I definitely don't think Oprah was baby oiled up with Astroglide. But I'm talking about the regular puffy parties. Hard for me to believe she was never, ever at one. That's hard for me to believe. Anyway, let's continue. She says, I have never been near a puff party. I'm glad I adjusted that light, y'all. I was looking like, damn, I got a tan. She continued, anybody who knows me knows if there's a party, I'm the first one out. The nature of my personality is that I am not a party person. This is not who I am. I like to sit at home with my thoughts by the fire with the dogs. In other words, Puffy your ass on your own. I'm gonna give you the real. I'm gonna give you what she really trying to say because she a celebrity. She can't talk like I can talk. That's why I don't want to be no celebrity. Whatever I am. If I'm a celebrity, if I'm famous, if I'm known, I'm the type that's gonna say the real shit. I'm not doing this. What she's trying to say is Puff or Diddy, your ass on your own. I'm putting so much distance between us, you can put a Walmart in between us. That's what she's trying to say. She's just trying to make it sound good. Then she tags in, it was like a tag team event. She tagged in her partner, Bishop Jakes. He had to come in and take a dump on Diddy. He wasn't through. Then he had to come in. Now, you know Bishop TD Jakes, who recently stepped down as a senior pastor of Dallas mega church, the Potter's House of Dallas, said he had briefly visited one of Combs' parties during the daytime. Pastor. I don't think a pastor need to be at a Diddy party at all. I don't think so. Somebody said Oprah, no, her ass was there. You know, Oprah was there. Oprah was there. Her and Gail was there turning up. They better not, they better hope. I guess Oprah must have scrubbed all the footage and pictures because I'm sure somebody got one. I got a question in here. What do I think about the judge meeting? I'm sorry, y'all. These things, the chat be moving so fast sometimes I miss some stuff. But I saw somebody ask me a question about the judge. I missed it though. Billy said Benny was in there. Hey, look, y'all tore Benny ass up. No Diddy. Yeah, that was Benny and them. Yeah, that was AI. Hey, look, that's AI is the new I got hacked. Remember when every time somebody would say some wrong shit on the internet, they would say they got hacked. Now AI is if you caught red-handed and you got pictures and video and they got all type of evidence, now you can say it's AI. So like if I say some shit on here to get me in trouble today, I can just say that was AI. That wasn't me. That was AI. AI is the new I got hacked. But according to TD Jakes, he stopped by Puffy's house for 30 minutes to say happy birthday. And it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon with staff people. So let me speak on this. Let me tell you how. See, what I'm the king of. See, if people be, it's hard to argue with me because I like to take your own shit. Because I can argue my point and you can argue your point. But I think it's always more effective when you take someone's their own statements and flip it against them because that's your statements. This is your actions. You can't argue your actions. You can argue what I say and say I'm wrong. So I don't do that. If you ever notice, I take someone's their own words and their own actions and use them against them. And I'm about to do that with TD Jakes and cook his ass a little bit. The kitchen is open. Early. Breakfast crew, sausage, bacon, eggs, and I'm gonna throw a little TD Jakes in there. Because this is what I'm gonna say. You stop by his house to say happy birthday for 20, 30 minutes. Okay, you clearing your neck, whatever, right? Well, from that statement, what I do know is you were cool enough with him to stop by his house. Follow me, y'all, making a point about how this celebrity world is full of shit. And they can't handle me because I'm too real. Way too real. I think even the celebrity, they be talking about telling me to be careful. I think the celebrities are scared of me. I truly do. Because they know I'm real. You know, when you fake, you fear real. So anyway, TD Jakes out his own mouth just admitted he made a special stop to Diddy's house to say happy birthday. Now, TD Jakes is a bishop, a pastor, a this or that. So we know you're cool enough to pull up on him and say happy birthday. So you got some type of relationship. Judging by your own words, TD Jakes. You are a pastor or bishop. Why aren't you praying for Diddy right now? Diddy is facing he's in the most crucial time of his life. And you are a pastor or a bishop or whatever you want to call it, and you are prioritizing clearing your name as opposed to how much of a relationship you have with him. You are more concerned with clearing that than publicly praying for this brother. Not saying I'm sticking up for Diddy, but I'm just calling out how fake this celebrity world is. And to me, you a fake pastor. All the pastors I know will be praying for Diddy in this tough time, praying for the victims, praying for everybody involved, saying some positive words, something like that. But you ain't doing that, TD Jakes. You haven't made one public statement about praying for the victims, praying for the family, praying for Diddy's mom, praying for people involved. That's how the bishops and pastors I know, that's what they do. But you're not doing none of that. You are prioritizing yourself and clearing your name from supposedly being at these Diddy parties. That's fake as hell to me. It proves, as you're trying to prove and distance yourself, to me, it proves how fake that whole world is. And I'm questioning your bishop and your calling and what you do. So that's why I don't get involved in that world, y'all. It's fake. You got a pastor who ain't even praying for the victims involved, ain't even mentioned the victims or the alleged victims, nor have you showed any support for somebody that you pulled up, made a special stop to go say happy birthday at a Diddy party where you had no business being at a Diddy party as a bishop or a pastor, but you pulled up. So if you could pull up, I think you can support him in this rough time, but you won't. So that just proves to me what we've been saying about all these celebrities and all that. I don't believe shit they say. How about that? Now, Bishop Jakes went on to say, okay, as for the online rumors connecting him romantically with Combs, he said, I am almost 70 years old. What do I look like? I am a grandfather. Jakes announced earlier this year that he is handing leadership of the church he founded to his daughter, Sarah Jakes, and his son-in-law. Then he had the incident where he passed out on stage. They talking about that. We don't got to go into that. Bottom line is these celebrities are saying, Diddy, you on your own, bro. Cash me out. I'm done with you. This is why I don't fuck with celebrities. This is why I've always been a man of the people, which is why I will always be a man of the people. I don't give a damn about no celebrities. I don't trust them. I don't like the way they roll. It's fake and phony. If you got to shit on people, and that's another thing. I'm not giving nobody no credit for being no billionaire or 100 millionaire when you willing to shit on everybody to get there. I think a lot of us could get millions and billions if we didn't give a fuck about our fellow man. I for sure would be a millionaire or a billionaire if I didn't care about shitting on people. So to me, while people talking about why we shouldn't tear down this black man, he wealthy and this and that. If you are willing to shit on anybody you come in contact with, take their rights, take their publishing, intimidate them, beat their ass, I ain't giving you no credit. Anybody, to me, anybody with no heart could get to $1 million and $1 billion. Ain't no honor in that. Now, if you get there by being right, treating people right, then I give you some credit. But if you get to $1 million, you become a millionaire and you are willing to shit on people with no regard, why the hell am I praising you because you got millions? You only got millions because you don't give a fuck about your fellow man, about people, about women, about children, about any of that. You should have 100 million. That's just my thoughts. So with all that being said, let's get into the fucking court shit. We done had our little tea. We're gonna close the kitchen for now, and we're gonna get into what the hell going on in court. So there's a few articles I wanted to go over. But let's talk about what they're saying about Diddy's courtroom strategy of not calling anybody as a calculated risk and what people are thinking about it, what experts. Because y'all told y'all I'm not a professional. I'm just good in a motherfucker. I'm better than the professionals a lot of times because they don't know how to break it down what people can understand. I know how to break it down so everybody can understand what the hell I'm saying. Everybody can't do that. That's why y'all come to the Flow Show, no filter, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and rock out with the breakfast crew, like people like Angie, like people like Lily, even Desi in here. Desi coming up in here. We got all the best. Anitra, what's up? So Diddy's defense, a courtroom strategy, is a calculated risk from our good friends at Fox News. Y'all know how I feel about Fox News. Sometimes they got good articles. Sometimes I don't like what the hell they talk about. But I spread it around because I'm not biased. So I'll use Fox News. I use ABC. I use everybody so I don't want to hear nobody mouth. I remember my mom used to always say that. I'm doing this so I don't want to hear nobody's mouth. So I use all the publications because I don't want to hear nobody mouth that I'm biased. I use them all, even the ones I don't fucking like. So anyway, the decision by Sean Diddy Combs' lawyers to not call any witnesses to testify in his federal trial for sex crime comes down to the prosecution's burden of reasonable doubt, according to legal experts. Diddy's lawyer, Mark Agnifilio, indicated Monday in court that the defense plans to review evidence with the jury and won't require witnesses to testify on the rapper's behalf. The rapper's legal team expects to rest its case Wednesday, with closing arguments expected to begin the following day, Thursday. The decision whether or not to call witnesses during the defense case is a calculated risk, criminal defense and civil attorney Adante Pointer of Lawyers for the People, LLC, told Fox News. Not calling any witnesses means the defense is essentially telling the jury there is no one they know in the whole universe who can speak on Diddy's behalf to aid his defense. I agree with that statement. Didn't I tell y'all? I said, if I'm on the jury, if I'm on the jury, I'm looking at that like, bruh, you guilty. You don't have one person in the whole fucking universe. The whole planet Earth, you don't have one person that will get up there and say, he ain't capable of these things, Your Honor. Sean Combs, aka Mohawk Sticky Note, Itty Bitty Diddy Smalls with the Tootsie Roll would never put baby oil all over women and hire sex workers to come in there and have sex with them and blow up people's cars and extort people and threaten to take their rent away and threaten to put out sex tapes if they didn't pay $20,000. He would never do these things. And then on cross-examination, they'll start showing text messages, audio, video, newspaper art. They got so much damn evidence. Ain't nobody trying to get on that hot seat. By the time the cross-examination would be done, they'd be fucking toast. Literally, there'd be a piece of toast up there. It won't even be a person no more. It'd be a fucking piece of burnt toast up on the stand. So I don't blame nobody for getting up there. Cause it's so much evidence. It's evidence on top of it. They couldn't even get to all the evidence. The prosecution said, man, we skipping some of this evidence. It's just too much. The jury can't even understand all this. So I agree with this statement, but let's continue. On the other hand, calling a witness can open that person up to questioning and perhaps elicit damaging testimony against Diddy, depending upon their interactions with him and their knowledge of these women. Pointer likened the defense's decision not to call any witness to a Pandora's box. You know, you open Pandora's box and all type of shit come out. So if calling witnesses will open a Pandora, if you innocent, I don't think calling witnesses opens Pandora's box if you innocent. So I don't care how they spin it. To me, it just is not a good sign. Let's continue. Given the defense is signaling they do not intend to call a single witness, they do not think any potential defense-friendly witness will result in a net gain for Diddy. His lawyers have essentially determined the juice is not worth the squeeze. And that's one of my favorite sayings. I don't know if y'all done heard me say that on here, but I say it a lot in my regular life outside of the podcast shit. The juice is not worth the squeeze. Meaning, you take that lemon and you squeeze that lemon like a pair of vice grips. And you damn near break your hand trying to squeeze that lemon. And all you get is a teeny weeny beany itty bitty. Let's just use the words itty bitty little drop. And in that case, they would say the juice ain't worth the squeeze. But if you take that lemon and as soon as you squeeze it a centimeter, it just starts flowing. That's when the juice is worth the squeeze. I love that saying. So what they're saying is the little you're going to get from putting on a witness for Diddy, that little positive you're going to get is going to get tore the fuck up on that cross-examination, and you're going to wish you never would have put grandma on the stand. Or you're going to wish you never would have put the human resource lady on the stand. Because they're gonna be like, well, you say you're a great guy, but we got here where you paid for dildos on the company account. Can you explain that to us? Human resources person gonna be like, am I going to jail? Anybody who worked for Diddy that get on that stand will fuck around and end up in jail themselves. That's another reason why ain't nobody get up there. But they say, well, you're in charge of human resources, ma'am. And we see right here you authorize payments for the freak offs, for materials, for dildos, for baby oil, Astroglide. As a matter of fact, you reimbursed Sean Combs for drugs he bought. You want to explain? Motherfucking human resource person be like, I wish to evoke my Fifth Amendment right, and please don't take me to jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, that thing can go left if you try to get up there speaking for Diddy. So I understand why nobody got up there. Let's continue. Now that we've established that the juice wasn't worth the squeeze, let's see what else they got to say. Judge Aaron Subramanian will likely ask Diddy to confirm his decision to not take the stand. They say Diddy testifying would just allow the prosecution to retell their case and put the previous items of evidence in front of the jury for a second or third time. Pointer explained. Silence is golden, says Anquinette Brown. The prosecution would have a field day going through each and every video, text, and witness statement made at trial against him and force Diddy to admit the authenticity of the videos, the receipts, and invoices. Also, items recovered at his home and hotel rooms, and that he was present during the events described in prior testimony. In light of the evidence already presented at trial, this would most likely be an excruciating and humiliating cross-examination, the kind prosecutors wait their whole career to conduct. In other words, you crock-potted, pan-seared, flame-broiled, deep-fried, waffle maker. I can never get those waffle makers right. I can never get it to cook right. Anyway, any cooking term you can know, twice baked. Barbecued. Angie say barbecue. Give me some more cooking terms, y'all. I don't cook a lot. I don't really cook at all. So I don't even know how I know all these terms. Matter of fact, if you want to get the real-time exclusive Diddy coverage, I just put the link in the support link, flambit, whatever that is. I just put the link in the chat, burnt to a crisp. I just put the link in the chat. You know I'm about to be in New York. I'm going to be in on them closing arguments. I'm going to tell you exactly what the hell happened, how Diddy face was looking, how his mama was looking, everything in the court. Do a $23 subscription. I just put somebody say spit roast. I like that. Flambe, yes. Come on with the terms, y'all. So go ahead. If you look in the chat, if you want to subscribe, do a $23 subscription. It goes towards helping me get my ass to New York. And I'm going to give y'all real-time coverage straight from the courtroom. And I'll be out there Thursday morning for the closing arguments. And I'm telling y'all, I believe that the verdict probably going to come Friday. I don't think, whatever the verdict is, I don't think it's going to take them a long time. So let's go into, let's continue. Closing arguments for the trial, which began broiled. Okay, sauteed. Yes, sauteed. There you go, Sybil. I couldn't remember. His ass sauteed. Let's continue. Closing arguments are expected to be on Thursday. Trial attorney Trey Lovell told Fox News Digital that the defense likely wants to double down on reasonable doubt and that Diddy's exotic lifestyle does not equal what the prosecution has proposed, which is that Diddy formed a criminal enterprise to pleasure himself. Tony Soprano said, oh no, they call him the Tony Soprano of baby oil. The only reason to not call witnesses in your defense is if you absolutely believe there is reasonable doubt and you don't want to do anything to take away from this, including calling your own witnesses. Lovell said it would make sense to call a psychiatrist to explain the behavior of Cassie and Jane as being more reflective of a consensual relationship based upon the autonomy each woman had. The benefits they received and the love they have for Diddy. Further, calling executives at Bad Boy Entertainment would be helpful to distance the corporations from Diddy's more personal behavior, to dispel the criminal enterprise element. Finally, but see, they can't do none of this because if they call any executive, the prosecution has evidence that all of this was operating under the business, and they have tons of evidence. I can't see it no other way. Finally, possibly an industry or legal expert could distinguish the aspects of sex workers versus prostitution to counter the prostitution charge. So why wouldn't they do any of this? Lavelle added, however, the defense felt even calling witnesses such as these would have the potential of adversely affecting reasonable doubt and chose not to. Pan-seared, stir-fried. Yeah, I forgot stir-fried. Stir-fried. Good one. This guy goes on to say it's a real big gamble to testify in a case like this where the prosecution has brought racketeering charges, which allows them to bring this wealth of bad acts evidence there. By taking a stand, he would just subject himself to even more bad acts that were prohibited by the court, and so that was probably the right call. Diddy's decision to not testify can also be considered savvy as well, because he can say in closing, look, to the jury, the prosecution has 6 weeks of time to show you to try to prove their case. The defense lawyers are going to say this: we showed the reasonable doubt through our cross-examinations, and we don't want to waste any more of your time. You now have enough to know that there's reasonable doubt in this case, and that's why we didn't bring a case. And to remind the jury that the presumption of innocence always goes to Diddy as a defendant in this case. He also noted that the burden of proof is on the government, not Bad Boy founder Diddy. When you present a case, if you're on the defense side, you better be good, because if it falls flat, then you kind of move back to the marker, and you might be in a worse position than you started. I know some people are suggesting that, well, wow, doesn't that have something? Doesn't he have something he could put on? It may be in some ways an opportunity for the defense to say, no, we didn't need to. I don't know, y'all. I'm trying to see it both ways. I only see it one way. It just looks bad to me, because even if the prosecution didn't prove anything, and if the prosecution didn't prove anything and you're not worth, why is it so dangerous for you to put on some witnesses? The ball in your court, you can put on whoever you want. So to me, it just doesn't even make sense that if you're saying the prosecution ain't proved shit, so what you so scared for then? This is a life sentence you're looking at. You wouldn't want to go up there and present anything that helps your case? That just don't. And I'm trying to see it both ways, because y'all know it's one thing I'm big on. I try not to get stuck on one side just in case I'm missing something. So I'm really trying to understand the side of maybe you don't feel like you need to, but nah, that just don't look good to me. I don't know, y'all. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. Flow for president. Thank you, Angie. Hey, I'm thinking about it. Thinking about it. Flow for president. But yeah, y'all. So I try, but I just only see it one way. To me, it just don't look good. It don't look positive that you don't have one person to speak when you facing a life sentence. You're gonna tell me for 6 weeks in your mind, let's go by that theory. So for 6 weeks, the prosecution ain't proved shit, and there's plenty of reasonable doubt. So if that's the case, you shouldn't have no problem putting on somebody then. If the prosecution couldn't do any damage when they were calling their own witnesses, what makes you think they can do damage when you call your own witnesses that you handpick? Make it make sense. Help me see it the other way. I only see it as a negative. I don't see it as a positive. To me, it only says You're guilty as hell. They've proved it every day, twice on Sunday. They proved their case, and you know you can't even put his mama on the stand without getting chewed up and spit out and stir fried and pan seared and crock potted and deep fried and microwaved and air fryer. Shout out to Shauna. Every time I say air fryer, I think about Shauna, my special person, Shauna. Shauna can do amazing things with an air fryer, y'all. One day I'm gonna talk about it. Not today. Air fryer. They even bringing in the dude who do this. At this point, I think the dude who the Salt Bay. I even think he's sprinkling salt off his elbow on Diddy at this point. It's getting so bad. Where's Salt Bay at? You shouldn't be this turned up on a Tuesday morning. You shouldn't be turned up on Salt Bay. They done Salt Bayed him. Diddy done got Salt Bayed. I wish Diddy would get on the stand though. This just some personal shit. This ain't got this ain't technical. This ain't no article. I just wish Diddy would get on the stand because you know he an egomaniac, narcissistic, control freak. I think it would be pure entertainment for Diddy to get on that stand. But this is how bad this case is because Diddy even got on the stand when he shot up the club and got away with it back with J Lo. And by the way, J Lo, where your ass been at? J Lo, where have you? You have been so quiet we could hear a cat piss on cotton. J Lo ain't never been this quiet, and that ain't a bad thing. But when Diddy shot up the club, he was literally caught red-handed then, and he still got on that. He still got on that stand. So that's another thing that's gonna be very telling. He ain't getting on. If he don't get on this stand, which he probably ain't, it's just too many things to point to hand in cookie jar. Hand, you have hand outside the cookie jar, and you have hand in the cookie jar. And then you got whole elbow in the cookie jar. Diddy got his whole elbow, his whole arm in that cookie jar, and it's stuck. Yeah, J-Lo ain't saying nothing. Melissa said the gun was in her purse. Poor Shine too. Fall for That's what I'm saying. Shine ended up doing 10 years for nothing. But people want to get mad at me for calling out Diddy when he has ruined hundreds, if not thousands of lives over the years. I don't know what to say. All I know is J-Lo quiet, everybody quiet. Everybody quiet except for the people on the right side of history. I can't say it enough that it's very, very telling that not one person has showed up in Diddy's defense. Forget the witness stand, even just showed up to court. Only people showed up to court is his son and his mama, people you expect to be there, but not a person in the industry, not a celebrity friend, not a cousin he grew up with. Nobody. Not even any of these quote unquote girlfriends. Nobody. What's that Keith Sweat song? Nobody. Y'all heard that song? Y'all know that song? Is any Keith Sweat fans in here? Nobody. It's like who showed up? Who showed up for Diddy? Nobody in the Keith Sweat voice. But in all seriousness, all of this just points to guilt to me. celebrities distancing themselves from you, nobody even showing up to the courtroom to support you. Forget getting on the stand. Forget putting your hand, raising your hand on the Bible and saying, I'm gonna tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth about Diddy. Woo, that's a hell of a, I know that Bible on fire in the courtroom. They haven't even showed up. The only person showed up was Kanye West, and he was there. It took him longer to put on his white outfit. It took him longer to put on his all white outfit. It took him longer to do that than it did for him to stay in the courtroom or the courthouse. He was there all of 10 minutes. As if he was just saying, look, Diddy, I'm doing this so you can shut the hell up. I'm gone. But as we this week, this is going to be a crucial week. We have been covering this case. I've been covering this case since I think September 2023, I believe, is when Cassie lawsuit dropped, or when she was talking about the lawsuit. That is when I started covering this case, y'all. I've been covering this case before anybody. I was definitely the first person, especially with a large platform, to be covering this, because if y'all remember, when Cassie was first threatening to do the lawsuit, everybody thought it wasn't going to go nowhere. But there was one person who knew it was going to go somewhere, and that's your boy right here, Flo Daddy Flo, on all platforms. And when I covered it, people was like, why are you covering that gossip stuff? Because, I only cover real stories. I said, this ain't gossip. This is some real shit. This is about to be big. And here we are today. So I appreciate everybody who's been on this journey. I am honestly ready for this verdict to be over, because like I told y'all, I'm ready to get back to covering everything. I am a journalist. Like I tell people, I'm a journalist at heart, and this is the trial of the century, the biggest trial of my lifetime, and I decided to give it the attention that it deserved. So I focused on it. And I would do it again. But damn it, if I ain't tired of freak offs, I'm tired of baby oil, I'm tired of Astroglide, I'm tired of King Nights, I'm tired of cleaning up, hearing about cleanups and freak offs and all that. I'm tired. I want to talk about Trump and Iran. And I want to talk about the ice raids. I want to talk about Fat Joe. I want to talk about Tyler Perry. I want to talk about all kind of stuff. And hopefully we get a verdict this week, so we could get back to that next week. And get back to talking about everything that means a lot to us. And not Diddy, Diddy, Mo, Diddy, Mo, Diddy, Mo, Diddy, Diddy, Diddy. So tune in, y'all. I'll be out to New York this week. Today, I think prosecution is finishing up today. Yesterday they put more bricks into the I guess I go over one more last article with y'all. I'm gonna stay a little longer today. They have a is it this one? So BBC has an article as Diddy's prosecution. I'm gonna stay a little longer today, y'all. Diddy's prosecution rests. How compelling is the case against him? Prosecutors in New York are set to rest their case after weeks long. Mr. Combs has admitted to domestic violence, but has pled not guilty to the prosecution's charges. The defense has yet to make a case, as we talked about. Legal experts say their testimony has helped the prosecution. When we talk about their testimony, we're talking about ex-girlfriend Cassie, rapper Kid Cudi, who also dated Cassie. Former assistants, hotel security guards, and others say they witnessed Mr. Combs' abuse. And those testimonies, legal experts say, help prosecutors present a compelling case to a panel of 12 jurors. But a conviction on all counts remains far from assured. Here are some key aspects of the case. and the potential vulnerabilities in the prosecution's arguments. Cassie and Jane helped build sex trafficking. A key witness for the prosecutors was Miss Ventura, a musician and model known as Cassie. She testified for days about her abusive on and off 11-year relationship with Mr. Combs. 8 months pregnant and often speaking through tears, Miss Cassie Ventura testified that Diddy, aka Mr. Combs, beat and coerced her into so-called freak-offs. This was during which she would have sex with multiple male escorts. Prosecutors then alleged Mr. Combs used drugs, violence, and manipulation to pressure several women into unwanted sexual encounters with male escorts. Cassie's testimony delivered when she was when she was weeks away from giving birth. It was critical to the prosecutor's case, especially the sex trafficking, which is a charge that carries a maximum sentence of life in prison. Some of the strongest evidence was a surveillance video of Mr. Combs beating Miss Cassie in the hallway of a hotel during an alleged freak-off, and the testimony of a hotel security guard who said Mr. Combs offered him money to get rid of the tape. Prosecutors also displayed photos of Cassie, many injuries alleged from the rapper's abuse. Heavy stuff, y'all, happened in this case. But then we had another former girlfriend known as Jane. We all know who Jane was. I ain't gonna say it on here because everybody got their panties in a bunch and talking about they want to sue people. I ain't trying to get sued. But we know who Jane is. Anybody that got 50 Cent to their name right now know who Jane is. She talked about the hotel nights and the freak-offs. But jurors were also shown loving text messages that Cassie and Jane sent to Mr. Combs, including some in which women expressed interest in participating in those sex acts. The public is becoming more and more knowledgeable about the domestic violence and the fact that women may feel compelled to stay in abusive relationships, said Jennifer Beadle, a former prosecutor with the Southern District Court of New York. But a mix of loving messages and allegations of coercion could sometimes be difficult for a jury to put together, Ms. Beadle suggested. Mr. Combs' case might not be one that is as clean as the jury might like it to be. Further complicating their case, prosecutors lost a third alleged victim who they had hoped would testify after they were no longer able to contact. Y'all know everybody know that was Gina. Nia Ramani, a former federal prosecutor, said losing an alleged victim could hurt the case because a prosecution benefited from having multiple testimonies. Jurors may disbelieve one victim, but it is really hard for them to disbelieve many, he explained. Now, lawyers sought out to prove the criminal enterprise. Mr. Combs is facing an equally serious charge of racketeering. We talk about the racketeering part, with prosecutors alleging he relied on loyal employees to run a criminal enterprise, also to facilitate his sexual abuse of women and to also hide his conduct. The Racketeering Influence and Corrupt Organization Act, also known as RICO, was originally created to take out mob bosses. Remember, I explained that in much detail, but has since been used in other cases, including a sex trafficking trial that R. Kelly, who was convicted for 30 years. And I keep saying R. Kelly's RICO was nowhere near as strong as Diddy's RICO. That is what makes it hard for me to believe that he's going to be found not guilty. In that same court, as a matter of fact, I believe R. Kelly's was in the Southeast District. It was like a different district, but they said the district that Diddy is in has the more aggressive prosecutors and actually, for lack of better words, the better prosecutors. And like I said, R. Kelly's RICO was nowhere near as strong as Diddy's RICO, and he got 30 years. It's hard for me to not see Diddy be convicted, but we shall see. The government also accused Mr. Combs of using his criminal enterprise to commit arson. Rapper Kid Cudi testified that Mr. Combs set his Porsche on fire, all because he was mad about Cassie and Kid Cudi having a time. Let's just say they had a time and leave it at that. It may be easier for prosecutors to prove the elements of sex trafficking than racketeering because of the many technical parts of the racketeering statute, including the involvement of other people and entities. It's hard to simplify, complex legal experts say. Now, I disagree. I think the RICO is easier to prove than the sex trafficking, but that's just me. Because there's so many predicated acts. They're like 7 or 8. They only need 2. But we'll see. But if jurors had already concluded Mr. Combs is a bad guy, they may be less likely to acquit him just because of one particular element of a complicated legal charge. And they say, in my experience, jurors tend to fix upon a story and then align the facts to fit with that story. And they're going to talk about that Diddy's not going to take the stand. We already talked about that. Y'all, this is a big week. I'll put the link in there one more time if you want to subscribe for the exclusive Diddy coverage when I go to New York, as I covered it, opening arguments, and hopefully they come with a verdict on Friday or Thursday night or Friday. But I will be there if you want to be a part of that whole experience. This is history. I just put the link in the chat. Get a $23 subscription, and I will add you to the email blast. Last time I went to New York and shared a lot of the coverage, a lot of the inside scoop with the VIP subscribers. We had a ball, and they had really enjoyed it. I was glad they did. It was the first time I've done something like that. And also, the $23 membership is going to transition into what I call Flow on the Go. I will be traveling, doing meet and greets, and just traveling in general, covering certain things. And people who are a part of that select VIP group will have access to all the Flow on the Go. I'm gonna be, after this Diddy trial, I will be out of town at least once a month, doing some type of event or covering an event. And so that is where the VIP Diddy stuff will transition into Flow on the Go. If you want to continue to rock with your boy. Other than that, y'all, much love to everybody, all the subscribers. If you want to shout out, please subscribe. And I got you. As a matter of fact, I actually did have somebody who subscribed, a couple subscribers. Let me go to them right now. Alicia LaPera, she just joined the VIP. Diddy, Alicia, sorry if I say that wrong. Blame it on the brain, not the heart. Thank you for becoming a VIP member, and everybody else join us as always. I love y'all, but I'm out. Let's get the I'm outs in the chat. Big day. I'm gonna cover it. Follow my social media. I will be having a recap on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok later today, as always. And let's get the I'm outs in the chat, y'all, and we gonna do what it do, baby. Another Flow Show No Filter in the books. Much love to everybody. Much love to the breakfast crew. Join us 7:30 a.m. every Monday through Friday. It's a good time. Let's see who we got. Hey, Antoinette Brown says, I'm out. Sybil says, I'm out. Goofy, Sybil says, I'm out. Angie says, I'm out. Who else did I miss? Did I miss anybody? I'm out. Desi says, I'm out. Portia says, I'm out. I'm out with you, Portia. Hey Boo says, I'm out. I knew I missed somebody. Anitra, what's up, cousin? Says I'm out. Melissa says I'm out. Goofy Goober, hey Boo. Lily says I'm out. And on that note, I love y'all. We're gonna celebrate. Hopefully, I get the merch together today and we can launch it tomorrow. I love y'all, but I am out. Happy Taco Tuesday.